Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron is here, everyone. Welcome back for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Still trying to figure out the best way to do videos from Hawaii, you guys, with not only the 6-hour time difference from what I'm used to, but also, I mean, you guys who watch much of my videos know that I like to do screen sharing, and screen sharing is easy to do on a live stream when you have multiple screens. Not as easy to do when you're just working from your laptop. And so I had a whole video that I was working on doing today, and I was getting my timestamps ready for my screen share and all this stuff. And I realized by the time I got this done, it was going to be way too late to even bother publishing. And so then I figured, you know what, maybe the secret recipe is to do a pre-record at nighttime for me, edit anything I want to edit, and then just publish it in the morning. I don't know, guys. I got to get it all figured out. But in the meantime, I figured we could jump on and just chat about some cool, fun things that are happening. Let's say hi to some people. Dave's Deep Dives. Good to see you, Dave. Hey, Nikki, Peter Logan, Cilantro, Parodytology, Susie, Kimberly, Heather O'Neill. Come on, eh? Hello, everyone. Hi, Eileen Bradley. Okay, so let's see. Okay, you guys know that one of my favorite things is when my YouTube worlds collide. My favorite YouTube worlds collide. When my favorite channels collide with Scientology. And this happened yesterday. Now, this is the video I was trying to prepare for and get all my timestamps ready. My absolute favorite channel. I want to say one of my favorite channels, but it is quite literally the only channel I have ever subscribed to Patreon for, is a channel called Too Lazy to Try. And let me I'll show you what this looks like. This is his channel, Too Lazy to Try. He does not show his face in any of his videos. All of his videos are talking smack about someone in pop culture, the entertainment industry, the comedy world, the podcast space, the YouTube world. Every single one of his videos is just talking crap about people in the funniest way. And when you start, when you watch a few of his videos, you'll understand, like, the Too Lazy to Try title sort of fits because of kind of how he approaches his content. Like he'll repeat himself a million times. Like, anyway, well, okay, I'm going to be a little long-winded about this. The Too Lazy to Try channel, that just happens to be one of my favorite channels, just happens to be the only channel I've ever subscribed to on Patreon, not only dropped a video yesterday on his Patreon about Grant Cardone and Scientology and Gary Brecka, but in his video, he showed a clip of one of Grant Cardone's recent videos where he specifically calls me out and takes a shot at me and talks crap about me. And I was on cloud 9 yesterday that I managed to get into, no matter how it happened, get into in some small way a video on one of my all-time favorite channels. So Too Lazy to Try. Let's see. I showed it to you here. I want to show you guys. This is my Patreon account. I don't have Patreon for my channel, but I mean, like, if I log into Patreon and it shows me my memberships, and I'm providing receipts here, you guys. I'm providing receipts here. Since January 2024, I have been a Patreon member, or, a member of Too Lazy to Try's Patreon. The only other channel I've ever signed up for their Patreon was literally like a month ago, when Tommy G had recorded with a bunch of us for his Scientology video, and he started to release some teasers, some behind the scenes footage on his Patreon account. I was like, oh, I got to sign up for that. I got to see what's there. And let me see. I'm just looking at the live chat here. Okay, I'll address some of that. It looks like I got to fix something on a community post. Okay, I'm going to show you. Oh, and also, one of the things I was hesitating on earlier today in preparing for this video is the Too Lazy to Try channel. The video he's put out so far only exists on his Patreon. He hasn't published it to his main channel yet. And I don't know what the rules are about doing reaction videos to content that only exists behind a paywall. It seems a little dicey. Seems like someone may not love that. Hey, Rabbit, good to see you as always. And of course, Marilyn, wonderful to see you as well. Okay, let me see. Where was I? I want to show you the one part at the end of Too Lazy to Try's 30-minute video. The one part where I managed to make it in. Oh, the other thing that was so funny about this 30-minute video that he put out is a video I've been wanting to do, but have, no pun intended, been too lazy to do. When Gary Brea and Grant Cardone sat down and settled their lawsuits together and then did this 20-minute podcast, crapping on me, crapping on JT Fox, crapping on even Patrick Bet David, actually, I was like, I am going to go back through every podcast that Gary Brea went on, and I'm going to pull out every time Gary Brea accused Cardone Ventures, Brandon Dawson, Grant Cardone of some type of fraud, some sort of illegal or unethical business practices. And I'm going to figure out what to do with this content. Except that requires a little bit of a time commitment. And I was never able to just pull the trigger and get that done. Well, the channel called Too Lazy to Try was not too lazy to do it. And that's one of the reasons I'm very thankful that he did this video, because it gives me something to respond to without having to do all that work myself. So sometimes being too lazy to try can pay off in the end. True Emperor of China, good to see you. Your buddy Tony Hinchman says, hey, brother. Hey, brother. Okay, let's see. Do I have this shared properly? If we do this, I'm going to mute myself so you guys don't hear my mic reverb on this. And here we go.
So this was a wild podcast. And then at the end of it, Grant started calling out his haters.
I haven't given up. And this whole thing works out.
Yeah. And to the clickbaiters out there,
Yeah.
this is all I got for y'all. Okay. Take it.
Yeah, and to the Justin Grinko, oh, that's your real name, isn't it, JT? You jealous punk, wanna be me so bad. I live rent-free in your head. And to the piece of garbage errand boy growing up as a religious bigot. Your life is so miserable, you punk. And to both of you, keep clickbaiting that name. Grant Cardone's my name. I grew up on the bayou. Now I fly right by you. You blow on my name, and you brought me fame.
That's all I got.
They didn't want to see this go down right here. Dude.
No,
That's getting under this. They hate this.
You know, I'm sure Gary was really excited for this to go down. Like, he's the one that's owned by Grant Cardone. Like, we all heard what he actually thinks of the company. So I don't think he's in a good position. I guess he had to sell his soul again. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments on Patreon.
Okay, good. I'll stop it there. Okay. Okay. One of the reasons I was dying to react to this podcast thing that Grant Cardone made Gary Brea do with him is because the irony of Grant Cardone saying, I grew up a religious bigot. And you go, no, actually, Grant, I grew up in a cult, the cult that you joined as an already successful college-educated adult. I didn't grow up a religious bigot. I grew up a Scientologist. and I love how he calls me errand boy. Errand boy. Oh, by the way, you guys know who've been watching my videos for a long time. What have I always said about my superpower against Grant Cardone? He's not allowed to say my name. He's not allowed to sue me. He's not allowed to do anything that would raise my profile. I was surprised that he even showed that screenshot of my face on screen, but he used a screenshot Scientology already uses for me. So on Scientology's, one of their Twitter accounts is the Stand League, STAND League. It's like Scientologists taking action against discrimination. It's basically Scientology's version of the ADL. On their Stand League Twitter account, they put out tons of tweets with all sorts of images and graphics and whatever's of me. And he just used one of the ones that they had already put out. But he still wouldn't say my name or the name of my channel. So instead of calling me Aaron Asmithlevin, he called me Errand Boy. That doesn't even make sense. Doesn't make sense. And instead of saying growing up in Scientology, he said growing up a religious bigot. And the irony of someone who joined Scientology as an adult calling someone who grew up in Scientology and worked for them as a child slave, calling that person someone who grew up a religious bigot. Anyway, I had all sorts of ideas and things that I wanted to say in ways that I wanted to react to Grant's interview with Gary Brea, who I honestly, I couldn't be more disappointed in Gary Brea. You know, here's a guy with means, with success, with tens and tens of millions of dollars, who, you know, files a lawsuit against Cardone Ventures, and also he filed a separate lawsuit against, what is Grant's wife? Elena Cardone. And he settles these lawsuits before they could even depose Grant Cardone. Like, that was supposed to be the thing that was going to be the big gotcha, is getting Grant deposed. That's what Grant is most afraid of. It turns out that maybe that's what Gary Brea is most afraid of as well. You know? And so even in the 20-minute podcast that Grant and Gary did together, they said they didn't even, their lawyers weren't even involved in squashing their beef. They literally just drew up some, I think they just both agreed to drop their lawsuits. I do wonder what sort of financial arrangement there was behind the scenes, but it does seem like it was pretty much, they just both dropped their lawsuits, no harm, no foul. Although it definitely seemed like Grant was in the driver's seat in the podcast interview that they did. You know, Grant was sort of lobbing some of these questions to Gary. Gary would give pretty simplistic answers, and Grant would say, no, you're going to talk about this. You need to talk about this. You're going to talk about this in more detail than what you are. And then Gary would just, so like Grant was in the driver's seat. Gary was along for the ride. And again, it's a little weird because Gary's the one who initiated the legal action, not Cardone Ventures, not Brandon Dawson, not Grant Cardone. So Gary's the one who initiated all the litigation. And then he was also the first one to cave. Kind of makes you wonder what the heck is going on. It's also one of the great things about the video that Too Lazy to Try did, is he showed very clearly the very specific statements that Gary Brea made specifically on the Patrick Bet David podcast. And then contrasted those directly with the statements he was now making in the podcast with Grant. He did an absolutely fantastic job. So since I am using a tiny little clip from an unreleased Patreon video, let me just one more time show you guys. This is the Too Lazy to Try YouTube channel. I highly recommend you guys subscribe to it. It's awesome. And if you really want to support the channel as well, you can also support him on Patreon, as I do. Let's see real quick so that I don't forget. Anna from Canada, thank you so much. Grant Cardone is so incredibly weak. Thank you for being a channel member for 13 months. And Wasp Beer, great to see you. Hey, Aaron, hope you're doing well. May the Lord bless you and your family. Thank you, Wasp Beer. I appreciate it. And Cheryl Texarkana, aloha. Thank you for being a channel member for 11 months. Let's see. What else is there to discuss about this? Oh my God. In the Too Lazy to Try video, he revisits one of my most favorite Grant Cardone videos of all time, which is Grant Cardone, Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort trying to get Grant to answer some basic sales questions. Grant being the most insufferable, difficult, contrarian douchebag anybody could ever be. And I just love seeing. I did whole videos about this. If you guys remember 2-3 years ago, I did whole videos reacting to it. One of the incredible things, oh God, I'm probably going to cover this content tomorrow, but one of the incredible things about that interview that Grant Cardone did with Jordan Belfort, where Jordan is like, okay, so you're walking up to a door, you're selling insurance. The guy says, I don't need insurance. I'm not interested at all. Like, and Grant Cardone's like, what? No interest is a level of interest. And he's like, yeah, but he's saying he doesn't want insurance. And he's like, yeah, but everyone's a buyer. And Jordan's like, yeah, but not of insurance. One of the crazy things about this weird part of the interview that just seems like gobbledygook to most people is that what Grant Cardone is inarticulately doing is trying to communicate a Scientology concept that L. Ron Hubbard teaches to Scientologists. And the Scientology concept is specifically and uniquely applicable to Scientology fundraisers, because Scientology is supposed to be something that anyone and everyone on the planet needs, whether they know it yet or not. And it's something that, according to L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology says, L. Ron Hubbard says, Scientology is the only thing that's never existed before. Everything else in life you've done, experienced, or had a million billion times over, because you've lived 76 trillion years, lifetime after lifetime, on all planets and solar systems and galaxies and universes and everything. But the only thing unique is Scientology. And everyone on planet Earth is stuck on this prison planet, and only Scientology can get you out of the prison planet. So if you're a Scientology fundraiser and you're trying to sell someone Scientology, literally anyone and everyone on the planet needs Scientology. And in other words, you should never take no for an answer. Now, in this construct, L. Ron Hubbard says that someone saying they're not interested in Scientology is on the scale of interest. No, L. Ron Hubbard created scales for everything. No interest. And so what Grant was trying to communicate, and the problem is, first of all, he's not a great communicator. And also, he didn't want to admit this was a Scientology concept, so he couldn't even try to frame it properly. It doesn't apply to insurance, is that someone having no knowledge of Scientology of any kind whatsoever is even worse than someone having some knowledge and claiming to be uninterested. That as you enlighten people on Scientology, they're going to come up the scale of interest. And at the bottom of that scale is no interest. And so by someone even telling you they're not interested in Scientology, you've brought them up to no interest. Right? They were worse off when they didn't even know about Scientology, and so didn't even know they weren't interested. This is what Grant Cardone was trying to explain to Jordan Belfort. I should say, this is what was happening in that interview. Grant didn't actually try to explain it other than saying, no interest is a level of interest. Of course, Jordan Belfort's immediately confused because that doesn't make any sense. Jordan's talking about, selling insurance, and he's like, so you're saying someone who tells you they're not interested is actually interested? And if Grant wasn't being so shady, he would have detected what the misunderstanding was and attempted to resolve it, but he didn't. He just charged ahead and just sounded absolutely insane. And then Jordan Belfort went on podcast after podcast for the next month talking mad trash about Grant Cardone, and it was an unbelievably fun and entertaining chapter in my Grant Cardone coverage on this channel. And so anyway, the Too Lazy to Try video revisits all of that stuff. But isn't it somewhat interesting that when you put that concept that Cardone was hammering home, no interest is a level of interest, when you put it in the proper context and the proper framework and you explain it, it is an interesting way of thinking about sales. And it could have some carryover to other, if every salesman just took the first no that they got, probably wouldn't get a ton of sales. I don't know. I'm terrible at sales. That's why I've never been a salesman. Even in Scientology, I never had to sell books. I never had to sell courses. I never had to sell auditing. I do feel I'm pretty good at selling people on ideas, but when it comes to actually selling someone something that costs money, I don't like it. And I don't say that as some sort of a virtue. I mean, people who are good at sales are very admirable people. I'm just not one of them. Okay, so they covered all of that. And yeah, Texas says, no means I slammed the door on your face. Yes, Trisha says, so wait, Gary and Grant kissed and made up? Yes, they did. And even in the podcast interview where they talked about this, settling their beefs, Gary Brea made it pretty clear that Grant suing, or Cardone Ventures suing Gary Breca's children, is what was for Gary, I guess, the pressure he caved to. I guess he was not willing for his kids to experience what Gary himself, I guess, had already mentally prepared himself to experience in going through litigation with Grant Cardone. And even in that interview, Grant was like, I didn't see your kids. And Gary was like, yes, you did. And Grant was like, no, I didn't. And then Gary was like, oh, okay. Okay, Grant Cardone, the individual, did not sue my kids. Cardone Ventures, the company controlled by Grant Cardone, sued my kids. You can tell that's exactly what was going on in Gary Breca's head at that point of the interview. Okay, let's see what else is going on today. Yeah, same with John Leisure. Exactly, Kat. Same with John Leisure. Ooh, Andrew Sullivan says, do you think the Fort Harrison folks like Joey Meatballs miss you now that you're on vacation? I think they do. I think the security staff and the Sea Org members at the Fort Harrison Hotel, I think they enjoy the excitement that the protesters bring to their lives in downtown Clearwater. By the way, I thought it was interesting. Scientology sort of made a big mistake in trespassing me the other night from their hotel, because it looks like the paperwork finally gives us Joey Meatball's real name. Now, I will have to double and triple check whether this name is actually Joey Meatball's name or maybe one of the other Scientology security guards. But let me just pull it up here, you guys. Ooh, which text chain did I throw this into? Bear with me. Hi, everybody. Everyone's coming in from the backyard. Okay, hold on. Is this it? Is this it? Oh, I can do it because I'm watching the live chat as I go. You guys don't have to be quiet either.
Oh, okay. Oh, fine. All right.
Yeah. Okay, you guys know how much I hate dead air, but I'm dedicated on finding this name. Which group chat did I put it in? Up. I think this is it. Hold on. Jose Lemos, Jose Lemos, Lemos. Maybe it's is that pronounced Lemos in Spanish? Jose Lemos, Jose Lemos. It says that Joey is Jose, but it's funny because we called him Joey, right? So we pretty much had his name right anyway. A 59-year-old white male, born in September 1965. I have his actual birthday, but I'm going to not say that just so someone can't issue a privacy complaint. But yeah, so is Joey Meatball's real name Jose Lemos? It seems like it. Thank you, Scientology. Much appreciated. Dave's Deep Dive says, unrelated, I found out they're in the middle of renaming the Aftermath Foundation to the Michael J. Rinder Aftermath Foundation, especially with the look back stuff is tone deaf. Thoughts? Oh, well, they're not. I mean, I think they already renamed the organization. Yeah. I mean, it seems like a poorly timed decision. But that's their call. They can do what they want. How's it going, Georgie?
Good. I was going to show them some of the things we've been feasting.
Let's do it.
So, of course, we have to have some Maui style chips.
Here, you can.
Oh.
Hey. Sorry, George got attacked by a wild bull a couple days ago.
Maui style chips. So we're
Let's
having
tell
a
him what
few-
actually happened. George was taking his dog for a walk the night before we got on the plane. The dog's leash got all wrapped up in his legs, and he took a pretty tough fall. It's not just his eye, you guys. There's a lot of other. Oh, good Lord. Oh, my God. And George heals pretty quick. It was pretty bad earlier.
So we got a few Maui style chips.
Okay.
Decent on them. And then of course you wouldn't be in Hawaii if you didn't have dry
Fish jerky.
aki.
It's actually unbelievably good. I couldn't believe it.
Yep. One of the real treats we found at the farmer's market was the local honey.
Local artisanal honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been eating the hell out of that.
Really good stuff. Fortunately, the general store next to us for Natalie and the rest of the ladies has the, what is it called? It's a
Puaco. It just says, it doesn't say what kind of cookie it is.
no, it's that cookie they have next to it.
Puaco General Store, Big Island, Hawaii. But this is Lana knows what kind of cookie it is.
That's a good cookie. That's the kind of cookie.
It's a damn good cookie.
Right. And then of course we have to stay hydrated. So we've got the Waikiki.
Waikea.
Hawaiian volcanic water, naturally alkaline electrolytes from a deep well water. So that's what we've been drinking.
It's
Stay
probably
hydrated.
tap water, but
It probably is, but it's okay. It's wine tap water. And then a little bit later, we probably will do a little bit of the
the longboard is good.
So we're gonna go watch the sunset. What else are we gonna do?
There you go. And we've been, if you guys notice, I've got a ton of sun. George always gets a lot of sun even in Florida. George does like 2-3 hour bike rides every day.
But I believe
We have been going to this unbelievable beach, Mauna Kea.
yeah, okay.
Mauna Kea. There's a resort. There's Mauna Kea Resort. You can go into the resort, valet the car, walk down to the beach. All the beaches here are public, even if it's on, a big old private property there. It is literally anything you'd ever just imagined a tropical beach paradise to be. It is exactly that. It's everything I would expect in the Bahamas, but never got in the Bahamas. It's everything, I don't know, someone who maybe, has never seen the ocean thinks Florida is like, but you go to Florida and it's not exactly like that. Literally, and this coming from someone who's lived in Clearwater, like 10 minutes from the beach now for 20 years, who spent 6 years of my life living in Southern California by the beaches there. I mean, the Mauna Kea beach fulfills all of my beach fantasies ever. Anyway, we've been going there during like the peak UV intensity hours from like 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. is usually when we're there. And today it dawned on us, maybe we should go for like the 2 hours before sunset and enjoy that beach without getting absolutely nuked and hiding underneath trees.
So he's exactly right about the beaches being all
Here,
that you
you
could
just
ever
go.
imagine. He hasn't even gone down to the coral reefs.
I haven't, no.
And seen, right. He's only been on the surface. So
Yeah.
he still hasn't seen half of it yet.
That's right.
And his description's accurate and it's just incredible.
George is much more comfortable in the water diving than I am.
You'll after this trip you will be, because we're gonna go down. When you see what's down there, you'll spend a lot of time.
Yeah. It was gorgeous. I mean, yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah, George also has an unbelievably high threshold for pain. Like if first of all, if you'd seen the injury on his arm when he got on to the plane to come here, if I had been injured like that, I think I would have taken myself to the ER. Like it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Is like I haven't heard a single complaint from him at all about that arm. And then when he undressed it here, what was it like? The first night or the second night we were here, he undressed it to redress it, and it was the first time I'd actually fully seen it. I was like, George, this is a problem. Like, we're gonna have to get this tended to. And Nurse Cheryl just happened to scrape together all the things that she needed to treat that thing, and within a day, like you heal unbelievably quickly.
Including local aloe. We've been using local aloe.
Yes, locally sourced organic aloe right from the side of the street. It's probably why at first I was complaining, because I was looking for some aloe and I couldn't even find it at Costco. I couldn't even find it over there. And you realize, why would they sell aloe in the stores when it's just literally everywhere? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got Dusty in the chat. All streamers in Hawaii suck.
Well said, Dusty. Well
Good
said.
to see you, Dusty. Susan says sunscreen, Aaron. So yes, yesterday was my first day actually using sunscreen. I had been working on my base tan in Florida for the last few weeks for so long that I wanted to do that again on my first day here. I thought the UV was like a 6 here because I had checked it before, and it turned out we basically spent 1 hour of time in direct UV 10 onslaught of UV 10. Just I'm floating in the ocean, like head up. No, did I have a hat? I did have a hat.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I had a hat, but it was like the baseball hat I always wear. And I got the dreaded baseball hat tan line, and it's already gone away, including on the back of my head, the line, like on a baseball hat, you have the snap on the bottom, and then you've got the hole. I had that hole right in the middle of my head sunburnt. It was so embarrassing. And so, yeah, anyway, I was like, I can't believe this actually happened. My worst nightmare is having a giant tan line on my head, and it happened the first day that we were here.
Good thing you put all that aloe on, because it did turn it from red to brown.
It did. The aloe helped turn it from red to brown. Let's see. Oh, the other thing that we have to talk about is the Surge did a video this morning with attorneys Ann Andrews and Kimberly DeGonia of the Andrews and Thornton law firm. And so yeah, the cat is out of the bag, guys. It's official. Any and all ex-Scientologists anywhere who have I'm just going to say it plainly, because no one knows whether they have a case or not until they talk to the attorneys. I don't even think most people even understand what might give them a case, what might qualify them to quote unquote have a case, until they talk to the attorneys. And Ann Andrews and Kimberly DeGonia and the Andrews and Thornton law firm are just quite literally the best attorneys and the best firm that ex-Scientologists could possibly hope to have in litigating against Scientology. And so I guess what I was going to say there is all ex-Scientologists anywhere who think they may possibly have a case. We're talking about labor trafficking. We're talking about sexual abuse. We're talking about sex trafficking. We're talking about any instance in Scientology where you as an adult or as a child or any adult or any child was abused, specifically sexually abused, but not just sexually abused. And the organization itself knew about it, found out about it, investigated it, and never informed the authorities. This is going to be what takes Scientology down. This is absolutely going to be what takes Scientology down. And let me see. I will very quickly here. Let's make sure my screen share is set up the way that I want it. This is Kimberly DeGonia. She is the one at the law firm who's like specifically in the head of the department that focuses on this particular type of litigation, is my understanding. It says Kimberly DeGonia, born and raised in Orange County, California. Got a BA in psychology from Liberty University in Virginia. Went to Whittier Law School. Let's see. For 15 years, Kimberly dedicated her career to serving as a trial prosecutor, an impressive track record of over 75 cases taken to verdict. Kimberly has demonstrated a rare mastery of the art of advocacy. Let's see. Among the many chapters of Kimberly's storied career, perhaps the most prominent were those spent at the forefront of some of Riverside County's most high-profile child abuse and sex abuse cases from 2012 to 2023. These cases included the landmark People versus David and Louise Turpin, a child abuse case, which garnered national media attention and showcased Kimberly's unwavering dedication to protecting the innocent and holding the wrongdoers accountable. And okay, Kimberly brings this wealth of experience, expertise, and unshakable commitment to justice to Andrews and Thornton. As a member of our legal team, Kimberly continues to be a beacon of a tireless I think, Beacon, of a tireless advocate for the law and a trusted ally for clients seeking justice. Doing a deeper dive video into the firm, into Kimberly, into what's happening is something that I feel like I may not be able to do until I'm back in Clearwater. But I at least wanted to mention it. I will probably on my community tab, once I just check with some people, make sure everything's fine, probably post her email address or the email address to whatever other associate at the firm they want to have all inquiries sent to. Because basically now it's up to us. Now it's up to all the ex-Scientologists out there to decide whether you want to participate in mass tort against Scientology. I feel like anyone preparing to make that decision for themselves is going to wonder, like, how much hell are you willing to experience? Are you willing to have Scientology try to subject you to, and for how many years in pursuit of legal justice? And I think when someone is asking themselves that question, knowing that they have a firm as competent, as experienced, as prepared as Andrews and Thornton, I feel like would make it much easier to make that decision, to push forward and to pursue a legal case against Scientology. And I feel like this is what we've all been waiting for, to have a firm of this caliber prepared to take on Scientology, just as the Roman Catholic Church has been taken on, just as the Mormon Church is currently being taken on, just as, well, NXIVM, for example. Except, was NXIVM a criminal? NXIVM was a criminal prosecution, but I'm sure there was lawsuits there. But honestly, NXIVM is even so much tinier than Scientology. But when you've got a firm who has already taken on the biggest and the baddest people on the block when it comes to organizations that you might be afraid of in court, Scientology doesn't even register on the scale. I mean, the Mormon Church has more money, more members, and more power than David Miscavige, L. Ron Hubbard, and Scientology could ever even dream of having. And Andrews and Thornton doesn't blink an eye at taking on people like this. Were you going to say something? Oh, okay. Let me see. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. So, I think obviously Ann Andrews, in the podcast that I've seen, Ann Andrews and Kimberly DeGonia usually go on together. Ann is, I think, the founder, one of the original founders of the law firm. Kimberly DeGonia joined the firm a couple years ago, but obviously has her massive amounts of experience. Also, you'll notice her experiences in Riverside County. You guys know what else is in Riverside County? Scientology's international management base is in Riverside County. And so if I get a chance to do a chat with Kimberly, I think I'd like to do a chat with Kimberly on my channel one-on-one. Happy to have Ann join as well, but I'd like to be able to really focus in and talk to Kimberly about some of her thoughts on all this. But honestly, guys, like, it's over to us now. It's over to all the ex-Scientologists. It's like, and it's the easiest thing, right? We all know each other. We all know stories. We know our own stories. We know other people's stories. And we need to get as many people to come forward and talk to Kimberly DeGonia and the crew at Andrews and Thornton as possible. These guys are the ones who are prepared to take all of our stories and turn them into meaningful, effective lawsuits that will hopefully absolutely cripple the human trafficking cult known as Scientology. So it's very, very exciting. It's unbelievably exciting. Let's see what else. What else? Yes, and what's going on in the live chat here? What's happening? What? All sorts of stuff is going on. All right, guys. Well, maybe that's it for now. Actually, while I'm doing, let me pull up the community post that it seems like I might have left out some relevant information on, so I can correct this on a video. I think I left out some information. Okay, so I put up a community post on my channel earlier today. It says, come downtown for the Save the Garden community rally. It will be our last time to gather as a community before the city council votes to sell a street to Scientology. Oh, interesting. It removed what I had put there originally. Yeah, you're right. It left out the date. It left out the time. Although all those things were there originally. I wonder, yeah, that's a bummer. Okay, I'll fix that. So then let me just read it out loud from a text message. The information that should have been in there. Where'd it go? Okay, May 10th at 10 a.m. Okay, so what is May 10th? Is that a Saturday? George, on your phone, what's May 10th?
May 10th is Saturday. Yes.
Saturday, May 10th, 10 a.m. Meeting at 520 Cleveland Street. Come downtown for the Save the Garden Community Rally. It will be our last time to gather as a community before the city council votes to sell a street to Scientology. Hopefully they will vote to not sell a street to Scientology. Enjoy music, friends, prayers, and an interesting update. Peacefully walk with us to the project site. We will meet for the rally at 520 Cleveland Street. Free and easy parking available at the Garden Avenue Garage. All right, so I'll update the community post with some of that information that somehow got admitted when I hit publish. All right, guys, that's it for now. Yeah, like I said, still trying to figure out the best way to actually do regular style videos at a reasonable time for you guys in the normal time zones of the United States. All right, guys, I guess that is it for now. Stay tuned. Be back for more tomorrow. Have a great evening.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.